Hello and good evening. Today it is Sunday, January 31st, 2021, and for this video today I will be sharing my thoughts on the Washington Capitals brand spanking new alternate uniform for the 2021 NHL season. Well, basically it's just a 2021 season, but you get what I mean. So this is the Washington Capitals brand spanking new alternate uniform here. And as you can see, they've gone in a relatively traditional path with this new alternate uniform. And overall, I actually feel that this is a fairly decent alternate uniform. I like the simple traditional look. I like that the Washington Capitals are using the W logo that, believe it or not, was on the pant shell of their 2018 Stadium Series uniform as the main crest on this jersey. And I like the simplicity of it. And the main thing I like about this uniform too is that Washington is finally using a navy blue third jersey for the very first time. When they brought out their 2018 Stadium Series uniform, ever since that game, I've always been disappointed with the Capitals because I felt that they missed out on a major opportunity to create a navy blue alternate jersey that actually was fairly decent. And fast forward 3 years later, and the Washington Capitals have created a new third jersey inspired by that 2018 Stadium Series uniform, where they took what I have always felt to be an extremely mediocre design that to me has always looked like they took the 2016 USA World Cup of Hockey navy blue jersey, added a big chunk of red on the bottom of the jersey, a white shoulder yoke, and an abbreviated Caps word mark on the front, which is an abbreviation of their Washington Capitals logo, and went with that. They took that jersey that looked like they just took that 2016 USA jersey and just added some stuff to it and said good enough. And here they've made it much, much nicer. So also notice that they're going to continue using their number and lettering font that they use on their main jerseys too. Also note the 3 stars on the pant shells. And overall, you have a very traditional look, and I have to say, I'm definitely a fan of this look. So, what I want to do here at this point is I want to read something from their website that I actually found very fascinating and interesting, because usually teams don't really say this in their uniform unveilings, and I want to talk about it real quick because I think it's very interesting. So, what it says here on their website is that it's modeled after the team's 2018 NHL Stadium Series jersey, and they're going to wear it for 7 home dates during the 2020-21 season. And the jersey will be worn across the next 3 seasons. Does that mean this current season and the next 2 seasons after, or does it mean this season and the next 3 seasons? That is going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye out on, at least in my opinion. So here's a little bit of a different shot here of Ovechkin and the other 2 players modeling the new third jersey. So notice that W logo on the front with the 3 stars. I'm going to get into that shortly. So let me just see if there's anything else here. So the large W on the front of the jersey serves as a tribute to Washington, D.C. This is from their website still, with the Washington Monument structure peeking in the middle of the W. It's the same style, that logo that they used for their 2015 Winter Classic darker red jersey that they used against the Chicago Blackhawks. So basically they took that logo and they updated it a little bit. I can't really call it a modernization because it is a new logo that was created specifically for the 2015 Winter Classic game against Chicago originally for that specific jersey and uniform. But then for the 2018 Stadium Series game against Toronto, they took that logo, They simplified it, removed the Capitals word mark on it, simplified that crest, and put it on the pants shell. And now 3 years later, it's the main crest on their new third jersey. So the color scheme is aligned with the U.S. flag, and the 3 stars represent Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Virginia. So that's definitely interesting. So here's a bit of an additional shot that really gives you an opportunity to see the main crest. Notice how in the middle it subtly pays homage to the Washington Monument. So definitely not a bad look in my opinion. So here is that 2018 Stadium Series uniform that I've been referring to throughout the video so far. Notice it has that mediocre Caps word mark on the front. It looks like some terrible idea pulled out of the NBA jersey playbook. And see what I mean about the big chunk of red on the bottom? I have never liked this uniform. And Toronto's jersey I liked, but Washington's uniform, the only thing I liked about it was the fact that they finally made a navy blue jersey. You know, I've been saying for a long time that they should have either A, put that W logo that initially was on the pants shell of this uniform here, or they should have put the Weagle on the front, which I'm going to get into the Weagle later on as I go in this video too. Because there's something I do want to talk about regarding the Weagle. So here's another shot of Ovechkin sporting the new alternate uniform, and it's a very traditional style. And I have to say, I definitely don't feel that it's a terrible choice. I like how they took the Winter Classic uniform from 2015 and combined it with the good qualities that their 2018 Stadium Series did have, which weren't many. And they created a very traditional uniform that actually looks quite nice in my opinion. And I actually feel that this W logo being on the front of a jersey is actually a great choice. For an alternate uniform, I feel that this was a great opportunity to finally do something different, and Washington did. However, this is kind of where I do want to start to nitpick it a little bit. Because even though I do think it is a very good uniform, I do understand why some people are saying that it looks very similar to the 2018 New York Rangers Winter Classic uniform you see on the left. Now, as people say that, I have to say I think Washington's jersey on the right is far nicer than this one here. And I have to be honest, I don't understand why so many people seem to think that the 2018 Rangers Winter Classic uniform you see here is a good uniform. I have never liked it, and I've always been disappointed with it since the day it was unveiled. This random striping up here, this patch on every jersey, which looks terrible in my opinion, the waist striping not being on the bottom of the jersey, they took a design that should have easily been a great uniform, and in my opinion, the Rangers ruined it. Yes, the Capitals have a similar striping, but unlike the Rangers, I actually feel that Washington's new third jersey looks very good top to bottom. There's only one detail about it that I personally don't like, and it's the random lacing that they put on this jersey. I wish that Washington would have avoided that. If they would have just gone with a solid white collar, it would have been a perfect uniform in my opinion. But, you know, I get the comparisons with the Rangers 2018 Winter Classic uniform, but Washington's jersey on the right, in my opinion, is so much better. And so far, it does sound like Washington's gorgeous 70s, 80s, and 80s throwback uniform you see here has been retired. I did remember reading something from Aesthetics stating that supposedly the Capitals owner, Ted Leonsis, has said that he has wanted to move away from the throwback, which I have to be honest, I'm disappointed. This is one of my absolute favorite uniforms. Yes, I agree that the logo on the front is super boring and mediocre, but in my opinion, the jersey around it makes that logo work, because in my opinion, the jersey is so busy that a simple logo on the front, a script logo on the front actually works, where you don't have a simple logo with a busy jersey actually looks really good because there's not too much going on. There's so much going on the jersey and the uniform that a simple logo actually works very well here. And this has always been my favorite Washington Capitals uniform, even to this day. So if Washington has decided to get rid of it altogether, which it sounds like they have, I am disappointed. But as I say that, though, I do like the fact that Washington is finally giving us a full-time navy blue third jersey. I do think it's overdue for that. But I do wish that Washington could at least pull this out for a game or two every season. I mean, if you look at teams such as San Jose, St. Louis, and Los Angeles, if they can all wear 5 jerseys in a shortened, I believe, 56-game-long season this year, why can't Washington pull this beautiful uniform out for a game or two as well? I mean, Washington does have that reverse retro uniform, and why don't I pull a photo of it up here real quick? They do have this reverse retro, but, you know, even though I think this is definitely by far and away the best Screaming Eagle jersey that I've ever seen, I'm still not a lover of this design. This Screaming Eagle logo is so damn big on this jersey. I'm not a big lover of the Capitals wordmark here, and I don't like how there's just weird little parts of this font that they used from the 90s that they didn't fix here. Like, you see how wide and fat the inside of the C is here, how you've got the half moon shape in the number here. I do wish that Washington would have cleaned that up for the reverse retro, but I understand why they just took an old design and flipped it in their current colors of red and navy blue. I mean, I think it's going to look good on the Capitals throughout the 2020-21 season, but I don't know. I do think that the 70s, 80s throwback is better, but obviously that's a matter of personal opinion. But speaking of this reverse retro uniform, you know how I mentioned earlier that on the Capitals website it did say that they're planning on wearing this new third jersey of theirs throughout the next 3 seasons? Well, why did they state right off the hop that they're going to only wear it for 3 seasons, or for the next 3 seasons? Well, I have a couple of theories. Theory number 1, with the success in sales that the Capitals reverse retro uniform you see here has supposedly had, I'm wondering if A, this could become their new alternate jersey after the Capitals have the next few seasons wearing their new Navy third jersey. B, if this becomes the basis of a redesign of their new home and away uniforms, which even though they're not the worst Reebok Edge era uniform style that I've ever seen, I do think that they could be doing much better in regards to their uniforms. Or C, could they be getting ready to possibly be going back to the original uniforms full time? I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I think it would be more likely that we get to see something inspired by these reverse retro uniforms. This and a matching away would be an upgrade over what they're wearing now for their home and away uniforms, at least in my opinion. But as I say that, though, their home and away uniforms are not the worst in the NHL right now. But are they great? In my opinion, not really. And they did they did win a Stanley Cup against the Vegas Golden Knights in the 2017-18 season wearing their current uniforms. So maybe they're not going to be changing them anytime soon, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. So maybe the plan is to eventually bring back this reverse retro as a full-time third, or maybe it's even the basis of new home and away uniforms, or they switch to it with a matching away. Time will tell. So I want to give you viewers an opportunity to see the front of this new third jersey up close. Notice that all 3 stars are beveled. That's an interesting choice. And actually, it doesn't look too bad from a distance. You don't really notice it, and that's something I like. It's a nice small detail you see up close. But, you know, I do have to say this about the Capitals' new third jersey. I do like it. I do. But it does look to me like it is a bit of a love child between the Rangers 2018 Winter Classic jersey and the Colorado Avalanche current third jersey. And I would even argue that it's a bit of a love child with the Rangers' third jersey from the 2010s as well. But as I say that though, to me it's not a deal breaker. This jersey does look pretty damn good overall. But I do see the comparisons that people make between this uniform and some of the uniform designs that the Rangers have worn, well, 2 of them in the past 5 years. But anyway, let's see what I can pull out here. So this is a photo of the Capitals wearing their new third jersey recently in the past week as I'm filming this against the Islanders. It's a very nice looking jersey. Notice that they've retained the same number lettering font for this jersey as their home and away uniforms use. So when you look at it from this angle though, it does give me a bit of a Rangers vibe to it and a New York Rangers feel to it too. So I do see where people are coming from, but honestly, I think it's different enough that I don't have an issue with it personally. And honestly, not only do I think it looks good, I do think it's actually better than their current home jersey. You know, would I want Washington to go back to wearing blue as their main color? Personally, no. But I must say, hopefully this is a bit of a catalyst for the Capitals improving their home and away jerseys that they've had basically since 2007. Now, here's a chance to show you the fact that they've kept their home and away jersey number lettering font here. And there's a shot of it there. Oh, also inside the collar, it does say all caps with the Weagle inside the collar. So that's something I want to get into in a little while. So here's what I mean about the shoulder yoke. Kind of a little bit similar. To me, it's not a deal breaker, but I do see the comparison. And also the striping from the Rangers' old Reebok era third jersey, which honestly, I still think this is much better than the Lady Liberty uniforms, and I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me on that. So, also, here's a chance for you to see the Capitals' awful Stadium Series uniform from 2018. Now, obviously, I'm biased, but you see how it's just, it looks like it's an incomplete design, that it looks to me like they just took the 2016 USA World Cup jersey, the navy blue one, added the big chunk, not even a waist stripe, but a chunk of red on the bottom and a white shoulder yoke, the Capitals lettering and numbering font, and an abbreviated Caps wordmark logo on the front, which just looked terrible, and it sucks, in my opinion, that they went with it. And they said good enough. Also, they did a unique embroidery pattern in the numbers. I forgot to mention that earlier. But you see their new third jersey logo was first introduced as a pant shell logo on this uniform. But there is something that I do want to get to. And it is something that, to be honest, with all of you viewers out there, if you feel this way, I completely agree with you. Why have the Washington Capitals not yet used their Weagle logo that has been on the shoulders of their current jerseys since their current home and away jerseys since the 2007-2008 season as the main crest on a jersey yet? It's completely beyond my comprehension. They've had this Weagle secondary logo for almost 15 years, and it's never been on the front of a Capitals jersey before. I have been annoyed with Washington ever since that Stadium Series game because I felt that was the perfect opportunity to create a great design that finally employed that logo on the front of a jersey. Instead, they went with that stupid Caps wordmark logo, nickname wordmark logo. Truth is, I have yet to be completely 100% impressed with any jersey that uses a nickname on the front of it. And, you know, as I say that, I do like this W logo. I do think it is more than good enough to be on the front of a jersey in its own right, too. And I think it looks great here. But I agree with everybody who says that it's time for the Capitals to put a jersey together that uses the Weagle. I mean, I don't understand why Washington hasn't done that yet. I mean, this jersey looks good. Don't get me wrong. I see the comparisons to the New York Rangers, and I've even seen some comparisons to Colorado's current third jersey, which I completely agree with both of those arguments. But I still think this jersey looks good. I like it. But I do think it is time for them to finally put the Weagle on the front of a jersey. And I agree with everybody. It deserves to be at least featured on one jersey in the Capitals' history. I feel the same way about the Ottawa Senators prototype logo from the 08-09 season, from around the mid to late 2000s when they created that Sens third jersey, around 2007, 2008. You know, there's another good logo that should be on the front of a jersey at some point. And, you know, do I feel this was a missed opportunity? Yes, but because I like the design of this jersey, I can actually live with this, and I do think that the logo that they went with is actually a great choice. But, actually, why don't I pull up another photo here real quick? And I want to show you viewers one more photo here before. Okay, just bear with me for a moment. I want to pull up one more photo here because I want to make sure that I show you viewers something else. And you see the W logo where it made its debut for the 2015 Winter Classic game against the Chicago Blackhawks? So notice that logo there. Basically, their new third jersey is a blend between this uniform, going with a traditional design, and their 2018 Stadium Series uniform, which was a terrible uniform, but it had a white shoulder yoke, and it also was navy blue. And it put a slightly updated version of this logo, which I think is better than this version here, on the pant shell. So let's go back to this photo here. Actually, why don't I pull up a different photo? Here, I will use this one for the time being. So personally, do I think this uniform could have been a little bit better? Sure. But I'm happy with it the way it is. I like it the way it is. It's definitely not the worst third jersey that the Capitals have had by a long shot. But one thing that I do think that the Capitals could have done here, just to make it a little less Rangers-esque, is I would have actually liked to have seen Washington use a rounded shoulder yoke like their retro red jersey. Just to make it, I mean, the squared off shoulder yoke is not a deal breaker here, but I think a rounded shoulder yoke almost could have looked better. Just to make it look a little more Capitals-ish in appearance, but it's not a deal breaker for me. But there is one thing. There's only one small detail about this uniform that I don't care for. And there's only one. Besides this small detail, I think the rest of the uniform actually looks really good. And it's the decision to go with the Adidas 3 laces. The Adidas subtle advertisement of the 3 stripes, in my opinion. This is the only detail about this third jersey that I don't like. And I must say, it looks completely out of place here. And this part right here looks like a fish skeleton. I'm sick of this look. You know, it's the only thing that I would get rid of on this jersey or change. The rest of it looks great. But that one thing for me takes away from a great third jersey. If it was just a plain white collar with the red trim like they've got without the lacing, to me it would be probably, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. But with the laces, I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Actually, I'd downgrade it to a 7.5. But you know what? Overall, it's a very, very nice looking uniform. I just don't like the Adidas 3 laces. They look so out of place. And that's the thing about Adidas laces that drives me crazy, is that they look so out of place and they don't belong on these Adizero jerseys whatsoever. But from top to bottom though, this is a very nice looking third jersey. Yes, I see the comparisons to the New York Rangers, and I do think they are, to me, I can appreciate why people feel that way, but overall, I think the Washington Capitals have made a really good choice here. It's simple. The navy blue with the white and red accents looks terrific in my opinion. It's a bit Rangers-esque in appearance, but for a third jersey, they've taken a really good logo that wasn't even a shoulder patch logo, a pant shell logo, and they put it on the front of a jersey, a really good logo in fact. And overall, this is a decent jersey. I mean, I actually think a rounded shoulder yoke would have been a nice tribute to the Washington Capitals original uniforms, but the squared shoulder yoke looks decent here too. And the only thing that I'd like to see them do going forward is a new design at some point that at least gives us a chance to see the Weagle finally be the main crest on a jersey. But even with everything I've said and nitpicked on in this video, I do think that the Washington Capitals have made a very good choice here. And no, when you see some of the third jerseys that have been made in the Adidas era so far, this is definitely one of the best third jerseys that we've seen in the Adidas era so far, in my personal opinion. But overall, I think this is a very nice look. But anyways, let me know how you feel about this design in the comment section below. Do you agree with me that it's a good design, or would you like to have seen Washington do something different? Overall, I think the Capitals did a great job. I don't think, if they would have just skipped the Adidas lacing on the collar, the mock tie collar, I think this jersey would actually be basically an 8 out of 10. It's a very, very good design. Very simple, traditional, to the point. I like it. I'm a big fan. But anyway, yeah, I mean, feel free to let me know your opinions down below. And I hope you have enjoyed this video if you've stuck around all the way through. And until my next video, take care. And as always, bye for now.